In this video, I'm going to go over exactly what is a target market and give you a couple target market examples. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Tanish. I run a 7-figure marketing agency and own a couple other businesses like an accounting firm. And I also run a free weekly newsletter called the Midweek Marketer, where I give away one actionable marketing strategy every single week that I'm utilizing in my businesses and in my clients' businesses. If you'd like to sign up for that, click the link in the description below. Okay, so what is a target market? Right, so a target market is, what is a target market? Okay, so this is a market or a person or people that you're trying to advertise or market your business to. This is basically like marketing 101. So this is, hey, I have this specific person and I'm trying to sell them my product or service. That's really all it is with the target market. But the reason a target market is super, super important is it helps you understand the messaging and the emotions that you want to invoke in your marketing and in your advertising. So when it comes to your target market, you want to make sure you know everything about that target market. So know everything. Know everything. Everything. Okay, for example, you want to know what they eat. You want to know what movies they watch. You want to know what they watch at Netflix at night. You want to know the Instagram accounts they follow. You want to know the YouTube videos that they watch. You want to know, are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? Do they have kids? What kind of car do they drive? Where in the country do they live? You want to know everything about your target market. Now, you can get a little too specific, but the point is that you want to really understand your target market and everything that they've got going on. I'll give you an example of why it's important. Personally, I love Lamborghinis. I have a sports car and I'll be getting a Lamborghini soon, but with marketing and advertising, if there was a business out there, say an insurance company, and they were trying to sell me their insurance, if they ran a Facebook ad or Instagram ad with a Lamborghini in it and a guy jumping in and saying, hey, this is the insurance that every Lamborghini owner gets, I would immediately get attracted to that ad. Solely because I am into Lamborghinis. Now, if they had run an ad and they had, I don't know, a person walking through a garden and then they were gardening and they were trying to sell me the insurance, I don't care about gardening. That's why it's super important to understand your target market and know everything about them, because then you can speak to them specifically and invoke certain emotions to get them to buy your product or service. If you're interested, I have a free marketing plan that you can download in the description below. It has a couple other things, but it has a section there about how to break out who your target market is. It has a bunch of questions it asks you, and you can really figure out and lay out who your target market is. So if you'd like to get that, it's completely free. Click the link in the description below. Now, I get asked sometimes, like, is it okay to have multiple target markets? So multi-target markets is what I'm calling it. And the answer is yes, you can have multiple target markets. However, if you're gonna have multiple target markets, you wanna make sure that you're speaking to them individually. Obviously, you're not gonna have like a whole trove of like husbands that love Lamborghinis, that have 4 kids, and like every single one of your customers is gonna be a husband that loves Lamborghinis that has 4 kids. You're not gonna get like exactly that. You can have multiple target markets. You just need to make sure that in your messaging that you're speaking to each one individually. I had a client recently where they had 2 target markets for their business, 2 main target markets. The one target market was people to be coached, so coaches coaching coaches, and the other target market was people that wanted to be coached. However, the problem they were running into is that in their marketing and their advertising, they were kind of melding it all together, and it was really confusing in their copy and their messaging. So you can have multiple target markets, but you just need to make sure that you're speaking to them individually and saying, hey, if you're in this lane or vein of the target market, if you're in this category of target market, hey, this is what we're going to push you towards. If you're in this category of target market, this is what we're going to push you towards. We also had a client where their main focus was mechanics, but they also had a target market of moms that would craft. Completely different target markets, way different demographics, completely different messaging. But the point is that instead of making it confusing and confusing the mechanics and the mom crafters, every single messaging piece was speaking directly to those target markets. So the crafty mom stuff wasn't getting messaging about mechanics and how to work on your car and stuff, but the mechanics guys weren't getting, stuff about like sewing and like buttons and stuff like that. So the point is yes, you can have different target markets. It just comes down to the messaging and your marketing and advertising itself and how you're speaking to those people. Okay, let's go over 3 examples of target markets. I own an accounting firm, and one of the target markets we go after is this older demographic. So they're, upper 50s to 70s. They travel to Florida all the time, so they spend a lot of time in Florida. I'm up in Michigan. So in the winter, they're in Florida all the time. A lot of them have grandkids. A lot of them have 2 homes, 2+ homes. Okay, great. So that's the target market that I'm going after for my accounting firm. How does that help me in my marketing and advertising? You can run ads on Facebook to 50+ and have messaging in there saying, spend more time on the beach in Florida, or spend more time in the sun in Florida and less doing your taxes. So that's one example with your marketing. Another one is spend more time with your grandkids and we'll take care of your taxes. Again, speaks directly to that target market, and then that's why it's important to know your avatar. Okay, so let's do the other one. All right, target market 2, right? Completely different company. Let's say it's for an HVAC company, right? So you're, local, so, in a 30-mile radius, they typically live in higher end homes. So let's call it like 600,000. That's probably not higher end, but let's call it 600,000 plus homes, plus home. They typically have kids and are married. And then if you want to get even more granular, you can. For like a local business, this is actually pretty good, like an HVAC business, because then you could go and target like specific neighborhoods with the messaging. But you can say stuff in here like spend more time with your family and worry less about your energy bills. Let's take a look and give you a free estimate on your HVAC unit. So that's an HVAC company, so target market there. Let's say you run a business where you sell a digital product, right? So this is target market 3. And the digital product that you sell is to moms to help them make money online. You already know that they're moms, right? So moms, typically they're between the ages of 25 to 35. They have, 1 to 4 kids. Let's say they love like Joanna Gaines or something. So like Joanna Gaines and that whole TV series. Let's say they love doing like home improvement projects. So like DIYers. Then you can go, and when you're creating your social media posts, your ads or anything like that, you can focus then on like DIY stuff, or speaking about Joanna Gaines, or saying, hey, when with my 2 kids or with my 3 kids, I always run into this issue. Like, as a mom, I run into this issue, and that's why this service or this product is great. So the point is you want to understand who your target market is and start breaking it down like this. I'd like to go even more granular to the point where I have an avatar, and I'm like, okay, this is John. He's into weightlifting. So weightlifting. He, has a Mercedes. And I have specifics on that person, because then it allows me to really speak to that person. All right, another thing too with your target market is, how do I find who my target market is, right? There's a couple different ways you can go about finding who your target market is. Now, if you're going into a new target market, one of the things that I'll like to do is, and this is for a newer business, Google Keyword Planner. So Google Keyword Planner, this is on Google. You type it into Google, and then you're able to go on there and search up search terms on Google that people are looking for. This starts your journey of being able to find keywords that people are searching. You can see the search volume, and you go after and you look, okay, these are the larger search volume pieces. All right, let's look up those keywords and then go and find the competitors or other people that are doing things that I want to be doing. Again, this is for a business that's just starting up. And then go to their websites, look over their Facebook, their social media, see the people that they're trying to speak to. So maybe it's guys that are between the ages of 20 to 35 that, like I said, like working out or like CrossFit or something. And then it's okay, that's the demographic I want to go after. The other thing too is, if you run a business already, one of the things that I love to do is I like to get some kind of survey. So, don't call it a survey because everyone hates filling out surveys, but what you can do is say, hey, if you want this free thing, like a free t-shirt or this free thing on your order, fill out this form. So I'm gonna call it form. And you're able to then, get their age, things they are interested in. So movies they like watching, any of that kind of stuff. So they fill out this form, and then what you do is you get all that data, and you can say, okay, if you use a platform like Typeform or something like that, it makes it into a nice graph for you and everything, and you can see like, oh, majority of my customers like the movie Lord of the Rings or something like that. And you want to have this form like right after they've checked out or right after they've taken some kind of action, so that they're like in the motion of taking action. So have that form. That gives you a ton of data on your customers, especially like if you sell online products or online or digital products, or you just sell products in general, and all you see is their name, location that you're shipping the product to, and their email address. Having some kind of form like this after checkout, especially if you're like, hey, I'll give you a 10% discount on your next order, having this kind of form gives you a lot of data to be able to continue to speak really well to potential target markets. Another thing you can do too is you take the data you already have, right? So if you have already some clients and customers, what you can do is you can take the data, take their names, email addresses, location that they live in, their phone numbers, all that stuff, and spit it into ChatGPT, especially like the locations. This will help you figure out like where the majority of your customers are from. And it can spit out like, okay, hey, 90% of your customers are from Texas, another 5% are from Alabama, and like the other 5 are in the Philadelphia area. And you're like, okay, well, why are they in the Philadelphia area? And it starts to help you build out your target market. So taking data you already have, putting it into ChatGPT, like looking through all that data will help you understand who your target market is based off of information you already have. Another place that's great to get data is social media profiles, so like Instagram and stuff like that, as long as you have enough people following you and buying things off of your Instagram account. Okay, so that's what a target market is, and a couple target market examples and how to find your target market. If you would like one actual marketing strategy every single week that I'm using in my businesses and in my clients' businesses, click the link in the description below and sign up for the Midweek Marketer. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and I'll see you in the next one.